Hello everyone and welcome back for Angels with Scaly Wings. Oh, this isn't the Lunark demo. I need to edit that. 2017 I think it was? There we go. And put that color back to green? No, I think it was blue. Maybe... oh, that's good. You catted so many dogs in Red Dead 2. Make sure that you're practicing your social distancing. Alright, so we are in chapter 3. Looks like we have some free time today. We did meet with... yes, we met with Adine. She's very impressed. I believe we impressed her 3 times so far, even. I don't know who else to meet, if anyone else wants to meet, you know, someone. Yes, it's a shame. Pets in general have been confirmed to be vulnerable to the virus. So, I'm afraid I haven't been practicing the best social distancing myself or anything. Best practices for safety. Which is kind of a shame because I do have my own cat over there to worry about. I actually just posted a picture of her just now in the Doppel's Discord photograph sharing. So I do have that little cat over there. You can't see her well on the camera, but better picture in the chat. I have her to think about. Alright, so Doppel wants to skip all the others and just get some rest. Alright. Justin, since you are lurking in the chat, I'll ask you the same question. Do you want to meet with anyone else by chance, or just skip straight to Adine? There are times when I'm actually wondering if Swiffer likes Snoopy, or if she really dislikes him. I guess she likes him right now, so she's actually using Snoopy as a pillow instead of trying to rip him to pieces and suplex him. And there have been a few times where my cat there has actually taken her paws, grabbed Snoopy by the head, and just suplexed him. Is anyone else in the chat today? Or is it just Justin right now? Doppel right now. Justin, am I gonna have to break out the I'm watching you, Justin, again? Hello, Gabriel. We have met with Adine, and we're focusing on Adine, so I'll ask you the question since you're here. Is there anyone else you want to meet with as a side note, or do you want to just skip straight to Adine? Alright. I should be there for Factorio. I got a few things to do, but they're very minor and just mundane things. I can watch and play around with my tablet. You choose? Alright. Seems that we are getting some well-deserved rest. We just started the stream and we're already just going straight to getting some rest. Alright. Relaxing in our apartment. Didn't know when things would pick up again, so I figured it would be better to get some rest as long as I still could. Intuition. Interesting that it's got Lorem in the picture there instead of Adine, when she's the one who, shall we say, has intuition. She also has blueprints. Oh, that actually reminds me, since we did give her the blueprints, yes, we are missing them now. Okay, so we did miss a couple other cards too, apparently. We have Loss and Passion. Sexy Anna there. I'm sorry everyone, this stream is not for children under 13. You appreciated the rest during your vacation. 2 weeks of dashing around the US and meeting people. When you got home, you were wiped. Slept a whole day. Fair enough. I dislike travel in the first place myself, so I really appreciate that you can just hop on a game and go to Tatooine and Alderaan and stuff. And that's my vacation. I woke with my eyes on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world? Or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Hey, Cabbage! And right on the minute. You show up like this every day, like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I've got something for you. An envelope from the facility. Oh, these are the results from the test Santa ran on my blood. She must have sent it before she was... No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the results will be able to help us. Let's see. Remarkable similarities in genetic makeup, particularly the brain structure. Oh, I suppose this isn't the only reason you're here. The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep them waiting, shall we? So it turns out you've seen this before. Either you could watch this again, or we could save some time and skip ahead. Let's not skip ahead. As you wish. We arrived at the place that looks like an ordinary house. Had it not been for its extraordinary size, it reminded me more of a hostel rather than a family home. Cheap. Alright. Is that a... That doesn't sound like something that's really familiar to me, if that's indication of anything. I believe so. Let me just make a quick save here. Save on file 2. Quit, yes. Yeah, we did. Alright. Yes, we did. Do not do it. A conflict here. I'll roll some dice when we get to it, unless the conflict is resolved. There you are. Wait, aren't you supposed to be with Emra? Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Anyway, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Reza broke into the hatchery. There's another murder victim, an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite a ways from here. There's evidence of the struggle, but she's covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. I'm pretty sure that we can still, shall we say, defeat the plot armor with Brace. I'm pretty sure he's the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the only one. And that's entirely because of, hey, you go in first. Granted, I've never actually tried that. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found, and she has numerous wounds, consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and the other weapon he has. Oh, I did also just realize I have this missing. There we go. By this point, news of the other corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Reza's faceless victims. We can try it! Yeah, I'm curious as well. Alright, so... hope for the dice to roll in Doppel's favor. A hatchery? Is that Well, I guess we could just do it for curiosity's sake and have a quick save beforehand. A hatchery? Is that the building this is? Well, not only, it's a council-owned building, and they like to keep everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. There are also offices related to the administration of those services. That reminds me of the production facility. It should. They have similar management structure. Scramble eggs. Oh yeah, that's right. Wow, Justin, what a morbid thought. Wow, that might actually screw us out of a scene with Adine on that note. Quick save, see if Brace does the thing, and then reload if he does. Can we get back to the case? That actually reminds me, there might be a plot dialogue, maybe, with Adine if he does the thing. Sorry for the interruption, Chief. I'm sorry, I am very distracted now by the thoughts of what if. System interrupting me and scolding me? Wow, I don't think I've actually had that one before myself. The true ending, you absolutely have to have everyone alive, but it's absolutely alright if you actually piss everyone off. I've actually done that by mistake. Wait a minute, this is an orphanage. If an orphanage is in there too, there are no other casualties. Bereza got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened to all the other eggs. Left inside. But needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal the eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. Why you were here after all. Sorry, that's why you're here after all. I don't know. I have no idea what he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal is still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for safe passage through the portal? Maybe. It's still broken though. I'm not sure if that would help much. Maybe he has the part needed to repair it, and now he has everything he needs to escape. You could trade the eggs for safe passage, fix the portal, and leave. That's not the only possibility. He may not be the only one who. He may not be the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as a bargaining chip to get you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already. It doesn't even matter who sabotaged the portal. We only know that Rez's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs, and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him. Maybe it means he'll slip up soon enough. Who knows? Maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully, some of the test results will tell us something. I'm sorry guys, I absolutely can't talk today, it seems. After a brief walk, we were in Brace's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but it didn't reveal anything insightful or new information. So what do we do now? Go over the timeline again? Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. Yeah. I feel, shall we say, fortunate that I didn't have this back on Thursday, because that, I have D&D that runs between 6 and basically 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm sitting here in voice chat with everyone else, practicing safe distancing. And, whew, it's D&D, man. There is lots of talking. And then there I am, the rogue illusionist, sticking my foot in my mouth, saying, "Hey, no, sorry about the damage to your window. There are people outside who look like me." Like what, an elf? No, rogues and assassins! What do you have in mind? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Come in. Maverick? What are you doing here? Chief, can I talk to you? Alone? We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about? Reza. Well, you're looking at the Reza task force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us. I see. I think I know where Reza is. You know where Reza is at this very moment? I have good reason to believe that I have located his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have already moved on. Skyrim Space Program is ready at command. Damn, Maverick, tell me everything. I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was at the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, and where he's been, where his victims have been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs a base to hide the generators and everything he's stolen. Brace cleared the clutter on a table and smoothed out a map of the town on its surface. It already had a few locations relating to the case marked on it. Show it to me. Prior victims were found here, here, and here. Today's was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal when I followed him a few days ago. So if we establish this as an area of operation, extrapolate it, and we can narrow it down to this. Now, where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village borders, so unless he's decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole in the ground, the only option is here. The abandoned farm. When did you figure all this out? Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here. Maverick, this might be it. Should we send an observation team? As if we had one to spare. Heck, we're going there right now. What about you, Maverick? I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Reza right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't. How about you, Cabbage? Isn't this going to be dangerous? Reza probably won't harm you, as you're the only one who could possibly consider an ally. Good point. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. Or we could act like we intended to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. Speech level increases to 50. Ah, man, I could really use that in my original Sin 2 game, actually. The persuasion system, I don't quite understand it, except that I actually basically need to waste points on persuasion. So every time I come to an attempt to persuade someone, I'm just... not even a chance. It just says, you're not persuasive enough. Screw you. You're not really going to use me as ransom, right? We'll see about that. Thanks, Sebastian. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to mess up this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you. We have the element of surprise. We walk into his base right now, but, we have the element of surprise if we walk into his base right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go. I guess we won't need Cabbage here for that, though. True enough. Alright, Cabbage, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without telling us. Without us telling you to, understand? Okay. Alright then, let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. And Maverick, good job. Thanks, Chief. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Then I had to wait for Bryce and Sebastian were observing at the farm, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the materials he had gathered about the case, though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. After a few hours, the telephone rang in his office, and not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Cabbage? Yes? I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. There you are. So, what happened? A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the building in the time we've been watching. He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep? In that case, it'll be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Or maybe he's not even in there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed, with plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside, or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. Does this count as a... Wow. 150 dragon money. Well, we already do have the money funded to us by the government for our visit, but why do we even need to persuade? Everyone's already, oh hey, yeah, sure, I'll do that for you, because I'm so excited to meet the human. What should I do? You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I'm on it, Chief. So we have two options here. First is that you stay here and I go inside. This way, if Reza tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him, or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you are here as well. And the second? You go in first, and I follow you. This way, if we find him, maybe we can resolve things peacefully. You might be able to talk to him, and even if that doesn't work out, you've got me and Sebastian nearby to stop him. I don't think he's planning to harm you on sight, and if we can hear things starting to go wrong, we might still be able to surprise him. So either way, we take him by surprise. I just have the option of talking to him first. I think he could pull it off. Maybe if you were there, he won't act so as irrationally as he would if I was suddenly standing in front of him. I'm not going to force you if you don't want to do it though. Alright, so we're gonna save here on save 2 for the purposes of this test. An explosive option. Alright, let's tell him to go in. I'm pretty sure he's not. I think I actually still did this for the evil ending after I had done all the good ends myself. This was when I did this on my notebook down here. Alright, let's tell him to go in first, and we'll wait here. Alright. Actually, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Oh, okay, plot armored. Chief. Sebastian, what are you doing here? I told you to stay put. Don't go inside, Chief. Why? What's the problem? There's a device on the inside of the door. I think it might be a trap. I didn't tell you to look inside. I'm sorry, Chief. I just had a feeling that something terrible would happen if I didn't. Let's just check it out. Wow, plot armor, I was not expecting that. That was a pretty close call, you know. Too bad Reza wasn't here after all. Maybe he ran when he saw us approach. Strange for him to leave everything behind. Though everything he's stolen, all the generators are still there. Do you think the trap was intended for us in particular? Probably not. It was likely more as a general safety precaution. If he had any time to prepare for this, he would have taken this stuff with him. True enough. I had no idea you could make a bomb out of the generator. Then you just have to go along. You haven't been with us long enough. If you know how, it's not even that complicated. And Reza somehow figured it out? Plot armor, though, would tie in nicely with the universe overall plot. Yeah, that was... I was not expecting that. That was a surprise. Sebastian is Bryce's second chance. Yes, apparently. After we tried, man. We apparently tried, and then Sebastian was, nope. Apparently. So does he have any skills pertaining to the engineering or electricity? Yeah, I would otherwise think that it would be Bryce who would have the premonition, and I guess he did, that says, maybe this isn't such a good idea. And it is just surprising that Sebastian came up and said, you know, I also have a bad feeling about this, so he came up and also saved the day. I guess they were both intertwined. I guess it's just the triggering mechanic that I'm thinking about that doesn't quite make sense. Alright, so, apparently so. Does he have any skills pertaining to engineering or electricity? Well, he's worked on cars before and fixes a lot of things back home. I guess that would qualify, huh? He also could have done his own research. In fact, we do remember back in Chapter 3, the investigation. He had broken into the production facility, killed Anna, and stole all the blueprints and designs in the half-built generator, so he absolutely could, right? Sebastian objection, yeah. Either way, this makes him even more dangerous. At least, we now have a whole building's worth of clues. Cabbage, can you get to your apartment from here? We'll be busy with this scene for a while. Save system was the point of the whole thing, is to not save scam? To get what you want, Doppel. Deal with the consequences of your choices. Eggs bomb explode on Bryce anyways. And we didn't even have to save scam, it was hold up there. You're okay with Bryce. Doppel, aka Cabbage. Good job, Cabbage. Thanks. Guess your intuition was right, Seb. Alright, so that's another bit of new dialogue that I have not seen before. Doppel either, I imagine. Looks like it. You know, maybe you should show initiative more often. Thank you, Chief. Well, that's definitely some new dialogue I was not expecting, so, thanks for the suggestion there, Doppel. I'm surprised you called me back so quickly. How's the investigation going? Oh, the investigation's going swimmingly, but as you can expect, we need all the help we can get. As usual. With how this case has been going, we've realized we must employ external help. Oh? Yeah, we've requested assistance from the other cities. We hope they'll send some good investigators our way soon. Cabbage, get plot armor! Well, we were more trying to attack the plot armor and get past it. No, the plot armor is too strong. I see. We were so close today. He could have been in there, you know. Maybe we just came a few minutes too late. And if he knows how to make bombs from our generators, who's to say he won't start using them elsewhere? At least he doesn't have any right now, does he? He said all the generators that were stolen were accounted for. True. Still, this whole case is going to be too much for a small-town police department. I hope you'll get all the help you'll need. Me too. For right now, you can help us again. Well, what do you have for me? When we searched the building, we found more than the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need you to find out. But given all that we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know that he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is from the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it to the lab for us to find out more. Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. I'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we have reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis, since they have experience with human artifacts. They're better suited to do it more than any of our departments. No problem. And lastly, we have the eggs. That's a relief that we found them unharmed in the building. They're safe and ready to be sent back to the hatchery. Shouldn't we take care of those first? It's not as urgent as you might think. Our eggs are pretty resilient. Being in the care of the hatchery is more of an insurance than a requirement. Some people choose to keep them in their own home until they hatch, rather than having them in a hatchery to take care of it. The hatchery has been notified, but they won't be able to send someone for a few hours. I've heard that they're really understaffed. If you bring the eggs and the paperwork to them, you'd speed up the process, but it's not an urgent matter. I see. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. By the way, are you planning to attend the summer festival? Should I? it's been hard to think about something fun when I'm wrapped up in this investigation. For sure, it's important to take a short rest so you don't lose your head. So there's much to see at the festival, particularly the big fireworks. Dragons enjoying fireworks? I wouldn't think something like that would feel so commonplace since many of you breathe fire. It's not quite the same thing. We still appreciate the wonder of the colorful bursts in the sky. On the last day, there's always a big fireworks show. Everyone usually attends it. Everyone? Yeah, it has a great tradition behind it. What peeves me most is that I'll be on guard duty when it happens this year, so I probably won't be able to see a thing. If it's that important to you, why don't you just watch it regardless? Are you suggesting I abandon my post during the fireworks? No, you don't have to abandon your post, but if you pick up a good spot and watch them for like half an hour or so, no one's going to care. I'm not so sure about that. The guard post is pretty important. I know we're talking about the portal, but you don't need to take this so seriously all the time. Just think about it. The portal is broken right now anyways. Everybody will be busy watching the fireworks. Nothing is going to happen. I suppose you have a point. Just pick a good spot and no one's going to even notice you're gone. This is definitely our sneaky, sneaky, corrupt Sebastian route. Well, if you say so. Anyway, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Cabbage. You too. And this is also more plot armor for Sebastian. Alright, so I suppose the first thing we should do is take the eggs to the hatchery. That's really the only thing relating to Adine right now. Yeah, it was a choice that we made a long time ago, is when we met Sebastian in Chapter 1, minimum one playthrough, I think, first. And then you can just keep Sebastian saved for the rest, literally every other run. I was on my way to the hatchery when I heard a voice call out to me. Hello there. I turned around to see an unfamiliar face before me. Hey, I'm Kevin. Cabbage, nice to meet you. Could I perhaps interest you in our Midwest institution? Is this some kind of religious thing? Not at all, it's a college. Sorry, but I already got my degrees. Yeah, I know. It was a joke. Oh, so me going to the college is a joke now. I'm not good enough, is that it? Not at all. Even if you wanted to study there, I don't think you'd be with us long enough to make use of it. I think that came out wrong. You're lucky I won't take this the wrong way. Phew. So, you're a recruiter for this college? No, it's just my summer job. Once the semester starts up again, I'll actually be attending to get my degrees in psychology. College. Wonderful times. Is that sarcasm? Maybe. I didn't even know you had colleges here, though. Well, you do now. Why do you even approach me if you know I'm not going to be going to the college here? Don't tell me it's just because I'm a human. I was actually trying to talk to the old lady who walked by, but once you turned around, there was no going back. Oh, well, thanks for not making things awkward. Hey, I treat everyone nicely until I have reason not to. That's a good customer service. Sure, but it's not just for the job, you know. That's just me. You like this scene? The one thing is I don't like that I have to excuse myself to go to the hatchery and get a bunch of dialogue. But, that being said, we do have the choice here. We could invite him and we can talk with him later, or we could just simply excuse ourselves. Excuse ourselves? Alright. I believe there's a few people in the chat today, so what's everyone's choice? I'll roll my dice in case of a tiebreaker here. Yes, I believe we do have the scene with Kevin. I being said, I'll make a quick save here and go back to the menu just in case to confirm. Yes, there's Kevin. We have all the side characters, I believe. We have the gun, we have the blood, we have Zhang, we have Kevin, Sebastian, Katsuharu, and Emira. So that would be, is that everyone? Yes, that's 5. That's everyone. Alright, I'm going to say, because nobody else is actually answering right now, we are going to excuse ourselves. Well, I should really be going. I have some things to take care of. Alright, no problem. See ya. Here we are again. Hey, Cabbage. What are you doing here? Oh, I just came by to drop these off. Drop what off? The stolen eggs. I figured the hatchery would want them back. Oh, I was actually going to get those from the police department later. I'm so glad that they got back safely. Emily, stop chewing my leg! It's tasty! That's probably my favorite scene. It's tasty. Oh well. Anyways, I was about to go inside, so I'll take those off your hands. Thanks for bringing them here. No problem. Adine, wait for me! Good job, Cabbage! Sarah, do you know who that is, She doesn't talk much. I think we should go inside. Yeah, probably. I'll see you some other time, Cabbage. Thanks for coming. Alright, should we, I don't believe any of these are otherwise at all related to Adine. Kind of plot armored. I mean, there is the Remy good ending, in which Lara gets oofed. That's about the one point in which I figure Remy's bad ending is kind of better than his good end. Yeah, kind of depends on if you imagine all the other dragons who are also gone. Pick a random one? Alright. Well, Gabriel did also say earlier for me to choose one. So I'm guessing that everybody's watching but not that interested in picking choices right now. So that being said, the dice say to visit the witness. I am a little curious about Ipsum, but I'm pretty sure I know what he's gonna say. Can I help you? You must be Ipsum, is that right? Yes. I'm working with the police and hoped you could answer a few questions. Oh, do you have any news about my roommate? This is about the noises you heard last night. What's going on with your roommate? He went missing a few days ago. I already talked to someone from the police about this, but I haven't heard back from them since. I'm sorry, this is the first I've heard about this. And I really, really feel bad about how Lorm basically went there. It's sad. I don't know what happened to him. He didn't go on vacation, nor did he suddenly decide to visit the next town. I'd know if he did. He would have told me. Honestly, I find it odd that when someone goes missing, I don't hear back for several days. But when I hear loud banging noises during the night, the police send someone over immediately. I'm sorry, but I don't think I want to talk about this right now. It is a bit of a spoiler, but since we have done his bad ending, I suppose it would be fair to just say a spoiler alert. But back in Lorm's chapter 3 scene, he invites you to go on a treasure hunt with him, and you go on several scenes to a school out in the wilderness, and you finally find what looks like an abandoned pizza parlor, I think it was, but it's also been locked off. And in the bad end, well, not the bad end, Lorem having gone alone, he actually gets trapped underwater under a shelf that he can't actually move, so he drowns alone. Because when we're there with him, he's pounding on the shelf and we hear him, we're able to find him and get him out before he drowns. And it turns out that the abandoned place is actually abandoned for a reason, and even though the treasure hunt coupon thing that he has, it's been expired for months because of reasons of abandonment, rundown, just whatever. It's not safe, and Lorem unfortunately figures that out. It's the last thing he figures out. Thank you for all your help. I'll take care of the remaining tasks so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See ya. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something, or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. I apologize for the violence, but I assure you it was the easiest way. So it turns out we've seen this before, and we are going to skip ahead a little bit. As you wish. Because that is just a long scene, and we'll probably get back to that for the true ending, where, well, we're just gonna focus on, I guess, the mechanics behind everything. Seems that there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess I won't need to be at the police department, not that I mind. Seems I've got some messages. Let's see. Hey, are you coming to the show? It's going to be happening pretty soon, you know. I trained so much for this. You wouldn't believe. Probably harder than I ever trained in my entire life. I really hope you can make it, because I want to show you all I've got. Alright, let's meet with Adine. That's the first place we're gonna just meet with. That must be her. Hey, Cabbage. Hey, Adine. Are you ready to go? Sure am. Can't wait to see everything the festival has to offer. So it turns out we've seen this before. No, we're not going to skip ahead, for a reason. As you wish. Oh, I'm sorry if it came across that way, but I don't think we'll actually have much time to take part in the festivities. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll have to spend most of the time in the competition grounds. I'll arrive there early so I can check in and do my warm-ups. And I'll still have to stick around after my performance, too late for the award ceremony. Well, I guess you don't have to wait with me. You could see the rest of the festival if you wanted to. That's out of the question. I'm here to spend time with you. The festival is not that important. Besides, we can always see everything on one of the other festival days. True. We could even watch the big fireworks show at the end. Yeah, I've heard about that. Everybody keeps telling me how important it is for me to see. It's not that important, but if you have the opportunity, you really should go. I'm not sure if I'll be able to attend, but I'd gladly accompany you if I have the chance. Sure, so today's agenda is emotional support. Next time, we take in all the aspects of the festival. Sound good? Perfect. Alright then, let's go. It took a while for us to arrive at the festival, which had already begun by this point. The last of the booths that lined the ways were still being set up. The dragons of all shapes and sizes were already pouring in. Instead of walking directly through the festival, we stayed outside the established paths, heading towards the stage where the competition was going to be held. Eventually, we arrived at a rather large, open-air area near the facility that had been roped off. At one of the corners of the buildings, a few flyers had already been gathered. Maybe you should wait here while I get my number. Why? People might get the wrong idea if you show up at the registration line. Besides, they could certainly stare and start asking all kinds of questions. Alright, I'll just stay here then. I'll be right back. You know, that's kind of not a big deal for me, personally, is if I were to show up at the registration line and people were starting to ask questions, I mean, do you see any wings? Beyond the big open area, seating had been provided. I could already see a few people waiting for the competition to start. A few had even gathered on the roof of the building to watch from there. I'm back! Is this your number? She held up a piece of cloth with a large number printed on it. A few straps are hanging from it. Yeah, that's probably true. Getting mobbed by all the dergs wanting to take a look. Probably also asking questions about, whoa, he's with that flyer! And then she would get mobbed. What, this? No, of course not. This is Doppel's number. Hi, Doppel. Of course, sorry for the mistake. I'm one of the last to start, actually. Are we late? No, I guess the others just arrived earlier to have more time to get ready. What do you think about the other competitors? I've seen most of them fly before. Some are really, really good. It doesn't seem like there are many newcomers here. So right now, I'm the odd one out. Maybe we could use that to our advantage. How so? Well, you know more about them than they do about you. Having a promising newcomer there might throw them off their game. I'm not so sure about that. After all, it's not as if any of our already choreographed performances could change based on what the others do now. Each of us just tries to do their best. Most of them are seasoned flyers, so they already know how to deal with the kind of pressure. If anything, I'm the one who might get nervous and mess up. I do have one advantage, though. I'm still pretty young, and this is a sport with a great amount of wear and tear. There comes a certain point in time when you just can't perform as well anymore, as you used to. That's certainly happened to me, and I'm only 27. Many complicated maneuvers can only be performed by younger athletes. The older ones can make up for it with their experiences and with better execution of easier moves. In the end, a daring newcomer like me could surprise the audience and the judges with something new and unexpected, which is exactly what I plan to do. How good do you think your chances are? With a bit of luck, I might be able to win. It's just a local competition after all. But you know what? Just being here right now and performing in front of so many people is a win for me. People will know me, and I'll probably get a mention somewhere in a local paper. I've trained for years, and my application to compete finally got accepted. Now I just have to make the most of it, and I'll be happy. I still can hardly believe that I'm here. This is the moment I've worked so hard for. And I'll be watching you. Oh, stop it, you're making me nervous. Sorry. Can you help me with this? She spread out her wing, and only then did I notice that her shoulder joint was tightly bandaged. What's that for? It's just the training bandage to stabilize my shoulder after the little blunder you witnessed last time. We can't fly with these in the competition though, so I'll have to take it off. Okay. I opened the bandage carefully, unwrapping her wing. There you go. Thanks. She spread both of her wings, beating them a few times. I couldn't help but notice that the previously bandaged wing was sagging noticeably compared to its counterpart, as if it were misaligned. She seemed to be examining her shoulder, somewhat lost in thought, when I spoke up. Are you sure you want to do this? Of course! Why wouldn't I? I see that you're... Is that... Oh, okay, never mind. I can see that you're straining without the bandage. I'm fine, really. Don't worry about it. If you're fine, then If you're fine without the bandage, how come you were wearing it up just now? Didn't you need it for practice too? If you could practice without it, maybe you aren't ready to compete without it yet. Since when are you suddenly an expert on flying? I'm the one who's been doing this for years, not you. This is my dream we're talking about. Do you want them to see you in the best condition and judge you based rather than when you're at your best? I just have to try, you know? What if something goes wrong, though? You don't have to be in that position. Sorry, you don't want to be in that position. If I start making excuses now, maybe I'll never stop. I'll always be too nervous, or too injured, or didn't eat right the day before. I feel bad enough as it is. Right now, I have a chance to do this, and if I don't take it, maybe I never will. I'll always just be a server, and a delivery girl making minimum wage. Is this one chance really too much to ask for? No, but it doesn't have to be right now. There'll always be another year. Yeah, I know what you mean. And as it turns out, there's only one option way at the end, and it's not even a bad option, it's just good or impressed status, basically. When I first came through here, it was literally my first run, and I was just, oh hey, that's a pretty dirge. I'm gonna check her out, all scenes and stuff. And then I was here and I was, maybe I did think it was, pissed off end at the end. I tried to get her good end after that for 2 or 3 runs after that, and I was just confused why I wasn't actually working until I figured out, oh hey, the blueprints. It doesn't have to be right now, there will always be another year. They've never seen you compete before. If you fly now, they'll judge you based on this performance. You only have the one chance at making a first impression, and you know it won't be your best if you fly right now. If it's not good enough, maybe they won't invite you again next year. If you fly now, they won't accept any excuses, but if you tell them you're injured, they might let you fly another time. But I don't want to wait another year. I want to do it now. I trained so much, even with this injury, and you tell me I should just let it go? I just can't help but thinking about last time. If you crash like that again, there's no sand to cushion your fall. It could be much worse. You think I don't know that? That I'm already worrying about this more than I ever have for anything else? I just don't want to make excuses anymore. I don't want to wonder if I'll ever amount to anything more than a waitress. I want to be able to follow my dream, and I don't want to wait another year to find out. What about Emily? If something happened to you, how do you think they would explain to her that you just suddenly stopped showing up, huh? Don't you dare bring her into this. She has nothing to do with it. Like it or not, what you're doing could have consequences, and there are others besides you who will be affected if something goes wrong. Yes, angry Adine. I actually found basically the online forums, or whatever, the wiki, and I saw this there, and I was wondering, when has Adine ever been that angry? Here it is, and it's not actually avoidable. And what we're saying here, that whatever you do, if things go wrong, have consequences far-reaching, is basically more than just if things go wrong. Whatever you do, good, bad, failed, success, whatever, have consequences that reach out further to other people and to other things in ways that you cannot possibly imagine. It's just the butterfly effect, I guess. You know what? I will fly and do the best damn job I've ever done, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Before I could reply, she angrily stomped off towards the building, where by now a number of contestants had arrived. While I failed to convince her, at least I could say that I tried my hardest to stop her. I asked myself if I even wanted to watch the competition at this point. It was possible that she'd do even better than expected, but if my experience was any indication, her performance would not turn out well. In the end, I decided to stay and watch from the sidelines. I didn't want to join the rest of the audience, as I was sure that it would get me unwanted attention. After the competition started, I lost myself in thought, thinking over the conversation I had with Adine while watching the other contestants half-heartedly. Adine had been right. Some of them were very good, but based on what I had seen at her practice session, she did have a shot at winning, if everything went well for her. Even though my rational mind doubted that would happen, for her own sake, I hoped it would. One by one, the contestants showed off their skills in a variety of moves, usually followed by the applause of the audience. Eventually it was time for Adine's turn. Next on the stage is number 11, a promising newcomer who will show her skills to the public here for the very first time in her debut performance. Please welcome Doppel. Hi, Doppel. There was an excited bout of clapping. The audience was always curious to see a newcomer on the stage. However, after a few seconds had passed, Adine still hadn't emerged. An awkward silence set in as the audience's applause stopped, and everyone sat anxiously waiting for her to show up. She never did. Half a minute or so had passed, and the announcer's voice once more echoed across the area. My apologies, it looks like number 11 will not be flying today. Next up is number 12. A certain veteran you may know for his somewhat unusual technique. Before I could even ask myself what happened, I saw Adine walking out of the building and coming towards me. Now, just as a reference point for not specifically the bad ending, but if you do not have the good ending and you get past Chapter 4, it will show the status screen like this for Adine. For reasons of, she did go flying, she tried her best, things did not go well, she had an accident. It does not actually say specifically she had an accident, it's just that you can piece it together. She had an accident and, oof, they have to explain to Emily how suddenly she just stops showing up. So, again, butterfly effect. Adine wants to do this. It affected more than just her, it's Emily too, and whoever else also has to explain it to her, so you can see, butterfly effect. Adine, what did you do? Let's just go somewhere else. Okay. We walked away from the festival and sat down under a tree in the outskirts of town. As the competition was already nearly over, the darkness had already set in. This opportunity to have an option here to let her fly and suffer watching her accident, or stopping her from flying and saving her. Yeah, I don't actually ever remember actually having that option though, so kinda don't really want to have an option to see her, shall we say, crash and burn. I don't want to see that option. Because I already know what happens. We walked away from the festival and sat down under a tree in the outskirts of town. As the competition was already nearly over, the darkness had already set in. Here should be good. So, what made you reconsider? You were right with everything you said. And I was inside, I had a bit of time to cool off. I realized I didn't want to do it like this, even if I had to wait another year. How do you feel now? I know it was the right thing to do, but I can't help but thinking that I just came so close that I could have done it if it hadn't been for that stupid accident. You'll have another chance, I promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. Hey, Cabbage, look at the sky. Can you see that light? The one that looks a bit brighter than all the others. Why, yes we can. That's certainly a bright star. A very bright star, I might add. I looked up and saw many celestial bodies lighting the sky. One of them was noticeably brighter than all the other stars. Yeah. I usually practice in the evening and stay until it's dark so I can see the stars pretty often. I noticed something about that one. It moves. How does it move? It looks pretty stationary to me. You don't notice it just by looking at it, but over the last couple of weeks I have noticed that it has changed positions when comparing it to the stars. It can't be a star then. Stars don't move. They have an office in one of the cities that watches these kinds of things. I called them about it a while ago. What did they say? It's just an asteroid passing by. It's even been on the news a few times. It makes it sound pretty important. Yeah, it's a big one, apparently. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be able to see it without a telescope. Do they think it's dangerous? Why would it be? I don't know, it could hit the moon or something like that. They assured me that that's not going to happen. They say calculating the paths of celestial bodies is a very complicated science. and it's not really an exact one. They don't. They know that it's not going to hit the moon, but they're watching it to make sure it passes safely. Fair enough, Doppel. That would be my choice too. And also, just in reference to the star, I don't know the news sources myself, but apparently they are tracking a asteroid body right now that is going to pass between the Earth and the Moon in regards to distance. They don't think it's going to hit the Earth itself, but one of the, I guess, conspiracy theories really is that they are planning to send a rocket and a bomb up in a shuttle to intercept the rock, well, yeah, it is a rock, and blow it up. Basically, literally the movie Armageddon with Bruce Willis. I don't know if they've done that yet or not, but yeah. There is an asteroid, and I'm pretty sure you don't see it in the night sky like you do here, but then also light pollution, so. Not that just watching it could make a difference. They don't really know anything more. Apparently, they're also really underfunded. The council doesn't see a need to waste people's time and money to look into the sky all day. That's strange, don't you think? It used to be a pretty important job, but over time the funding got less and less until only the token office in our biggest city was left. I see. Doppel is going to be live in 30 minutes with Factorio. Alright. Be sure to watch that when this is over. I will be seeing if I can wrap this up pretty soon. Shouldn't be a problem. It's such a shame, since this whole since the whole institution was based on our creation story. In what way? In one of the stories, our creator told us to watch the skies. How religious are you, really? What exactly do you mean? Well, dragons have the myths about humans. How many of them do you actually believe are true? Oh, I believe all of it. I just love reading all the stories, theories, and all that. Why is that? Well, I think there's a lot we can learn. Much of our society is based off of it, including our laws and traditions. I see. Can I ask you a question? Sure, go ahead. Well, what if I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future? Hey, don't joke about something like that. Why not? Because I'd believe you. Besides, if you really were a time traveler, I think you could come from the past, like the time when we were created. Really? Why is that? Because that's the only time in our history that we know of humans ever being here. If you come from the future, it would mean that humans were to show up at some point in our future history. I'm not sure how or why that would happen. Well, granted, you don't know the future because you don't have history books dated from to be happening 5 years from now. For example, no one knew that the coronavirus was going to hit, let alone 5 years ago. 4 years ago, nobody knew that Trump was going to take office before he took office. Wouldn't that mean that I was your creator? Well, not necessarily. There could have been other humans around, right? Your myths only mention one, though. Yeah, but people speculate, trying to find explanations for these old myths. Maybe there were some humans around, or they just died, or their creations rebelled and killed them. Others say they fled across the oceans. We just don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I like reading about all the theories and trying to piece the puzzle together myself. That's why I want to visit that underground building we found. Some of the theories are quite out there. Like what? For example, one says that humans are really aliens who just came from a different planet. They created us for some reason and then just vanished again. Why would they do that for? Maybe it's an experiment and they're testing us. Some say they're always watching us from up there somewhere in a giant mothership, and that maybe one day they'll return when we're ready to join them. That is pretty out there, I'll say. Told you so. What about the humanity you come from, though? Why don't you tell me more about your world? I don't like talking about it that much. It's much prettier here. I don't believe you. It's the truth. I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. I'd love to visit your world. I don't think that would be a good idea to visit us right now. You know, I do find it interesting that there is this line of questioning about, I don't really like talking about our world, compared to literally in Chapter 1, the first date with Adine, where we have the option of, well, if you could come to our world right now, would you do it? And she's, right now, there's stuff that I can't really just pick up and go. And now she's, I would love to visit your world. I guess maybe on a on-the-moment, pick up and go difference. Why not? You know what our world is like? Are there rumors about that? Not really. There hasn't been much speculation about that yet. Of course, we're curious, though. Next time we want to send one of our ambassadors into your world to make it even and all that. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Don't be so negative. Alright, I'm positive that won't be a good idea. I'm sorry, but it's not up to me to determine the best course of action. I'm just a lowly ambassador after all. Not quite as lowly as a waitress, with nothing more than high aspirations. Maybe it's time to go home. I would walk you, but I guess you'd be faster if you flew. Nah, I'd rather not without the bandage. Are you serious? And you were going to perform like that? I know, I shouldn't have tried. You don't have to bring that up again. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I think you made the right decision in the end. Thank you. Shall we go then? Sure. There we are. You want to come in for a bit? It would be a shame for you to have come all this way for nothing. Sure. She opened the door, wiping her feet on the doormat before she went inside. Can I offer you something? To drink, maybe? No thanks, I'm good. How about some TV? That could be interesting. I haven't watched TV in ages, and I don't have one in the apartment. You're right. You've got a pretty decent apartment, but they didn't provide a TV. I wonder why. Maybe they wanted to avoid culture shock or something like that. You've got a shelf full of books, though. Why would TV be fine? Sorry, books be fine, but not TV. I suppose when they give me books, they know what I'm going to read, but on TV, they can't really regulate the content I'm going to see. At least if TV works the same way as ours do. That's true. Maybe they just thought your time would be better spent elsewhere. I guess. If they didn't want me to watch TV, they certainly never told me. Actually, there is a series on right now that's actually pretty interesting to you. What is it? Well, I'm not going to tell you. Do you want me to put it on or not? Sure, let's do it. Adine turned on the TV and a brief flicker appeared on the screen before it was filled with an image of a house from the outside. Well, that doesn't look unusual. Hi, Doppel. You're just in time to see Adine's favorite show. Just wait a bit. The camera cut to the inside of the home, while the chattering of small talk could be heard. Then some figures entered the living room on the screen, where they were a grotesque, malformed creature with rather cartoony proportions, covered in odd lumps all over their body. They all shared the same odd skin tone. It was clear to me that these figures were played by actors in obviously fake, bulky costumes that reminded me of mascots. What are those? Humans! An Angels with Broken Hearts Humans comic. What would that be? Angels with scaly human broken hearts? Media? I wonder what the acronym for that would be. Humans? That's the name of the series. It's a typical sitcom about contemporary family as we would expect it, but the twist is that everyone is human. And then I realized why I hadn't been able to identify the creatures on screen as humans. They were all naked. Since the dragon's concept of clothing was different, they had applied their own principles when creating this series. It was quite bizarre to see a typical family sitcom where all the characters were in the obviously fake costumes and also happened to be naked. Do you like it? It's one of my favorites. While it is a sitcom, it manages to address serious, deep issues fairly often, which I don't think would be as effective if we weren't watching them through the lens of this alternate reality. This one isn't a bad episode, but it's nearly over already. I guess there's no point in watching the ending. True. By this point, the credits were already rolling, and Adine turned off the TV again. What do you think? Let's just say that if a human looked like that suddenly showed up in our world, people would probably run away screaming, and I think we made this reference to Lorem once before too. They don't look that bad. Sure, it's impressive if we consider what they had to work with, but there's a few of us things they got wrong. Like what? For one, humans mostly wear clothing, and secondly, we don't have tails. Those are just small details. The series is still good though. Is it popular? For sure, many people love it. I see. I hope they aren't too scared of me when they see how different I am though. I didn't run away screaming when I first met you, did I? True. Now that you're already here, there is something you could help me with. What is it? Well, it'd be a huge favor to ask, and it's kind of embarrassing. I'll just say it. The worst I could do is say no. How should I say this? It's about my shower. I get pretty dirty from practice sometimes, especially from the bad landings. And recently, the detachable shower head broke. That usually wouldn't be much of a problem, but with this injury I can't quite reach a few places on my own. It's already not ideal to having to manage everything with my wings, but now it's even harder. You want me to scrub your back? I guess you could put it that way. I told you it was embarrassing. Alright, so Doppel does want to say I'll do it. I really want to say I do it. We are trying to get the Adine good ending. It's an irrelevant whichever we pick though, but we'll do it. Do it. Don't worry about it. I'm glad to help. Thanks. This way. I followed her, entering the rather large bathroom. This shower is huge. I wouldn't mind having one of these. This is just your regular dragon-sized shower. It's made specifically for a flyer like me. We need enough room to stretch our wings. Just think of the possibilities. Wow, that statement. Think of the possibilities. She took off her goggles and stepped into the roomy walk-in shower. After pressing a button on the wall, water started to flow from the shower head, mounted on the wall. She moved around a bit, stretching this way and that in order to cover her whole body in water. Soon afterwards, she pressed the button on the wall again, and the water flow stopped. Don't want to think about it. She turned to show me her back, wings displayed. This is definitely not for children under 13 when I say, this is the shower scene. I'm sorry. The soap and sponge should be right there. I took a sponge that wasn't unlike the ones I knew from back home, and added some soap from a rather large bowl. It seemed to me that each species had its own challenge that needed to be overcome when it came to daily tasks like this one, emphasized by all the different design choices when it came to everyday items. You can start with the wings and work your way down from there. Sure thing. I couldn't help but make a joke to ease the tension when I put the sponge on her muzzle. Hey, it looks like you've got something here. Oh wait, that's just your stripes. Delay factorial. This should be wrapping up fairly soon, I would imagine. The next 5 to 10 minutes? I would say 5 minutes, right? If you want to delay factorial, then that's up to you. I shouldn't be interfering myself. Looks like you got something. It's your stripes. Hey, stop that! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Good job. I've got soap in my nose. I started scrubbing her wings, now that I could see them up close and fully extended. I found them to be quite impressive. It's long? Yeah, it shouldn't be too long, right? It should be like 5 minutes. We're just gonna wrap up here and then literally we're done. You know, I actually tried that before. What do you mean? Washing off those stripes. Why? Well, I was a child back then. You know how kids are. They make fun of everything. Though, I don't know if human children are at the same way. Right. Well, you know, I should be done here, 5 minutes, and then you can just do your factorial, I guess, at 8 o'clock like you intended. They are, trust me. Don't press too hard there, that's the injured shoulder. I'll be careful. Eventually, I reached her lower back. While I was washing a particular spot on her left side, I could see her leg twitching slightly. Are you ticklish here? I guess you noticed. She also told us in Truth or Dare. What happens if I do this? I repeated my menstruations, moving the sponge in circles over that particular spot. Hey, stop that! She started squirming and suddenly her tail whacked me and hit me in the face, causing me to stumble over backwards. Are you okay? I guess I deserved that. Well, you tickled the dragon, you get the tail, apparently. The fork tip of the tail was still hovering inches in front of my face. Its particular shape reminded me of something, and I couldn't help but grab it and hold it like a telephone. Hello? Hello? What are you doing? I think your phone isn't working. Stop being silly! Alright, I'm nearly done anyways. I resumed my scrubbing. By now, only her tail was left. Not being entirely sure about my technique, I moved the sponge over the tail's whole length in small circles. When I was nearly done, I noticed a low rumble emanating from her, reminding me of an oversized cat's fur might sound like. For me, my panther is still over there sleeping. Oops, that's alright. There we go. Nope. There we go. Are you purring? Suddenly, her expression changed as she looked over my shoulder. Oh, are you done? You should take a step back if you don't want to get hit by the water. After I left the shower again, she pressed a button on the wall, and the water resumed once more. She only stood under it briefly and moved around a bit until the water had completely washed off the suds. When she turned off the water, I realized that it didn't cling to her much at all. After she shook herself a bit, she stepped out again, nearly dry. Thanks, I really needed that. You're welcome. It's probably getting late for you, and I already held you up this long. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's already dark outside. I guess that took longer than I thought. I'm not supposed to go outside this late. You're right. You're advised by the police to stay inside after nightfall, because of everything that's going on. For me, this is even more important. We don't know if there's anyone out there who might want to target me. I suppose you'll just have to spend the night, then. I guess so. Alright, we're not only with the shower scene, but we're also spending the night with Adine. Alright. Yes. Unambiguous like a Bryce where he's questioning us, hey, yeah, the other night where you slept on the couch with me. Alright, so we are going to make the save here. And I'm going to be shutting this off real quick because Doppel is streaming Factorio in about 12 minutes. Unless you push it back a bit. So definitely go check out Doppel's Factorio stream, because that is definitely worth a watch. You can also 13 minutes, okay. You can also join us in Discord. The link is down in the description below. Again, you could also find our streams and stuff posted in that Discord link and everything. Not a problem, Doppel, and I'll look forward to your stream. I'm just gonna do something real quick after this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day, and again, take a look at Doppel's stream in the 13 minutes after this. Have a good day.